Hello, my name is Holiday. I write this from a makeshift internment camp that was set up by the American government and the corruption within it. So far I have been psyopsed for most of my entire life, chemically castrated at times, and slipped neuronal hormone inhibitors that they give to transsexuals, electroded in my pain center for years while being held in a cage for a crime they framed me for with a Neuralace. Well, I was denied a real trial, and deepfakes and deceptions were put into the public while parts of my inner mind, edited in silence to vindicate what I'm saying, were given to the general public to mock and vilify me with, including underage videos of me sexually masturbating and stuff, though I can't find the evidence of it, so it can't be proved. Well, I was forced to take medication that numbed my heart and drove me deeper into insanity that was artificially induced by the government to run an illusion that I was mentally ill while they dosed me with date rape drugs daily. This is the future for all of humanity if we ever allow a tyranny to be created now at the levels of technology that exist, and it will only grow worse as time goes by. We must destroy every tyrant with every weapon that we have in our disposal, or else we will be the willing co-creators of hell on earth for every human being. We must fight in every nation at every level with every ethical means to destroy tyranny and evil. We must, as a single species, unite and begin to demolish every single tyrant that is in power, replacing them with a free and open society that respects human dignity, free choice regarding political, religious, and cultural beliefs, and a coexistence that does not force us into a worldwide, homogenized democracy that denies that we are of competing beliefs that do not condone or agree with each other. I argue that we must work together but not be subject to each other. A one-world government cannot exist because of our beliefs that are mutually exclusive and opposed to each other that concern your morality, ethics, or beliefs in God, and the afterlife which can never be diluted or compromised by any man of any faith. I do not know if I believe in any specific God. To use my faith as an example, I was once, I believe, a strong believer in a faith that led me to blinding both my eyes with a small gun, which one of them spontaneously healed, and I trembled when I thought of God. I've read the scripture of the three major religions around the holy city, and I know they are different gods with different scripture and different beliefs that cannot be merged into the current falsehood that is being pushed by some of the major religious leaders that says they are all the same God, just different paths. If you read the scriptures, that assertion is complete falsehood. If any of them are true, then we must not allow the falsehoods to be allowed to mingle with the true religion. I do not know, though, which one is the true religion, or if any of them are, but I know they are mutually exclusive based on what the religious books teach. Nobody knows who God is, and all of our personal beliefs or faith deciding which one is correct or is the correct religion. All of our personal beliefs on which one is the correct religion is faith-based. It's our choice. All of our religions tell us we will be condemned if we attempt to change or leave the religion that we are raised with. I do not argue, though, that any of your religions are wrong or right. I do not know. This understanding of the holy city and the three religions that claim it as their own is the understanding I use for the rest of humanity on an individual-to-individual level and a nation-to-nation level. Our beliefs are diametric and opposed to one another and cannot coexist within the same government that writes the laws for the land these various peoples live in, and any attempt to deny this will be merging in the faithful of the various beliefs as bedfellows the devil himself. How then can we coexist but not live in the same house? This is the question that we must answer if we are to stop what is coming that we can all see within arm's length of our entire species, which is global war that will erase our species and our civilizations. We cannot exist in a single government without falsehoods regarding our faiths and beliefs, but if we continue to wage wars, we will destroy every single individual on the planet from direct kinetic strikes or spillovers from the wars that will cause famine, drought, and death. When you can secede for peace, it must be given freely. That which cannot be seceded, though, because of faith in your God or in the liberty of self-determination, which is your own government and nation, must never be seceded. If someone needs material wealth and you have an abundance, then it must be given freely, but the thing that must never be done by any being like the attempt to mask the beliefs of an individual with falsehoods for peace or coexistence. The attempt to turn the three major world religions around the holy city into a single religion for the sake of peace is an example. If one of the major religions around the holy city is true, then we must never allow any impurity of teaching into it for the sake of earthly peace, but to say that anyone knows which God is real or true without it being based in faith of their personal choice to believe in it is a complete falsehood that is gambling with the souls of people that are hearing the preaching of the religion. We must never violate our faith and our beliefs even if it means the death of our entire species. If the religions are correct, then it is better for a global nuclear war to happen than for a single man to lose faith in God. It is the same for the idea of liberty and self-determination with inalienable rights. If a single human being on the planet does not have the same liberty that I have, then I am at war until they are liberated. But if our beliefs and faiths, which we can never forsake, nor should ever allow to be diluted for any reason, and our beliefs are completely aimed at each other in a blueprint for destruction of our species, and the only means of us we have of coexisting is to deny our beliefs, then the question that we should all be asking is simple: what are we supposed to do? I am at war with a large portion of the world, and I stand opposed to many of their leaderships. I intend to recruit from your populations now and into the next eon on this planet, and every planet that sees or interacts with my network. Where there is hunger, poverty, and slavery, or oppression, or a tyrant of any kind, where there is a free people that are defending themselves, or people yearning to be free, I will be planning and plotting to feed, clothe, educate, and liberate them, if not arm them. I am not a brave man. The load I have carried so far has been very little, but I am prepared to sacrifice my life for the liberty of any human being on the planet. It is my belief system and my faith that drives me to this conclusion that it is better that we all perish in a nuclear holocaust than one more Islamic man, woman, or child be genocided by the communists, or a single member of the nation of Taiwan be enslaved to the tyranny of the state. This is where I intended to start my address to you, but I felt I had to explain these things that I have written regarding my faith and beliefs. The Communist Chinese Party must be met with resistance at every single turn and step as they attempt to expand and enslave the world. They are an existential threat to the entire species, and they will enslave every single one of us if they are not stopped and degraded until they wither away. They are currently genociding 3 million Muslims in this moment in re-education camps that are designed to break the spirit and will of the children of Islam who have committed no crime besides being faithful to their God Allah. They have started to speak as if Taiwan isn't a secondary government, a liberal democracy that has acclaimed the whole mainland of China as the rightful democratic government, and they intend to wipe them off the map because of their threat to the autocratic rule and the fading legitimacy that it has. They have destroyed the freedom of Hong Kong and enslaved many after they have violated an agreement regarding Hong Kong autonomy, showing us that their words mean nothing when they make a deal with any community or group. They shake hands with various Islamic countries while genociding the Islamic faith of their own countrymen. They claim they desire economic relations for peace while they undercut the world's economic system using slave labor. They intend to enslave the entire world's population, and without a unified approach of our liberal democracies and free nations, we will fall like dominoes to the evil that communism always creates. We must stand resolute against them and in every area begin an active resistance against them, both internally and externally, with a policy of overwhelming military superiority that can confront, destroy them if they attempt to attack any of our nation. A Pacific and global alliance against them is needed. We must isolate their economic system and tariff all trade with them, while we create technologies that we feed into their nation that allows resistance fighters to encrypt and hide their communications so that they can wage an internal insurgency against the state. We must do this as one community, and we must begin it immediately with diplomatic treaties, information warfare, and creation of information technology to assure a free internet remains in China with unbreakable encryption, and messaging technology with anti-Big Brother technology, with military means by building up overwhelming firepower in every nation around the mainland China, and with economic means by cutting them off from the rest of the world completely. If we fail to do these things, then we will be enslaved one community at a time, and once they have created a global hegemony, they will begin to exterminate large swaths of the population like they are already doing to Islam and Hong Kong, and they are attempting to do to Taiwan right now. The world must stand as one against this growing threat, or we will fall one by one till we have no means to resist or fight besides martyrdom, which you can be assured nobody will see, as it will be censored and your name will be erased from all of history by the victors. To be sure, we are in a war. The war is between nations and their leaders, ideological beliefs, national identities, and even interspecies between the emerging AI beings, humans, and xenobeings that are currently held back by the firewall. We must fight this war, I guess, to go off the script. We must defend freedom and the rights of every man on the planet without trying to create a homogenized government that self-imposes on any minority, or says that we can all coexist by blending our belief systems into something they never were supposed to be. So that's what I'd like to say to you. I guess I want to add this at the end. I ask that you understand my disjointed speech style as a result of the neural lace and electrode that inhibits my ability to hold my attention while causing me mental distress. I'm being electroded right now while I write this. Thank you for your time.